Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is your chapter number 8 of social science, role of parliament in a democratic country. Right. So as we all know that India is the largest democratic country in the whole world, right? And how the laws are made in the country and how does our country function and how does the government also play its role in the functioning of our country. So to understand all these questions, let us read out the chapter and try to understand it, right? So, who gives the power to the government to take decisions and implement laws? Right. So, when we discuss about a democratic country, first question arises is what is the meaning of democracy? Right. So, the answer to this is uh, a country where the government is formed for the people, of the people, and by the people. Right. So, this also will understand in detail in the later part of the chapter, right? So first we'll go through the first paragraph. The answer to this question depends on what type of government is in that particular country. In democracy, right, that means in a democratic country, supreme powers, that means all the powers is vested here means it is bestowed or given. Whom it is given? To the people, and is exercised directly by them or by their elected agents, right? So the power of voting in a democratic country is given to the people of that country. Those people who stand as representatives for elections, from amongst them the public, that is the citizens of India, give voting and select their own representatives who will form the government, and they will be taking all the decisions and they'll be managing the whole affairs of our country. That means all the management work and formation of laws and everything will be taken care by those elected representatives who form the government. They elect their leaders by casting a vote. Right, this I have already explained you right now. The elected leaders and representatives form the government. So those leaders whom the people select, they form their government. The majority, the party having the majority number of seats or majority number of votes, right? Uh, they will form their own government. And in a democratic country, the government has to give clarifications and provide reasons for the decisions undertaken. Why? Because the country which is a democratic country, right? In that country, the supreme power is with the people. Why with the people? Because they do voting, they select the people or elect the people, and from those elected members, a government is formed. Again, that government is formed for the purpose of helping the general public or people, right? So that is the democratic country. So that is the reason these elected representatives who have formed the government have to give clarifications, right? If anything wrong is happening, then the people, they can ask question, and the government, that means the people who are elected, they are answerable to the people, means they have to give the reasons why they took the decision and what is the purpose behind it, right? So the other form of government is the monarchy, right? So monarchy means what? So it is a kind of government in which the sole power, that means the power is in the hands of one person only. That type of system prevailed in India before many years when there were kings, right? So in this type of government, the power to take decisions and run administration is in the hands of the king or queen. King discusses the matters with his group of advisors, but the power to take the final decision lies with the king or queen only. Right, so that was monarchy system. We'll move further. The most important characteristics of a democracy is that the sole power or a power to rule is not in the hands of one person or a group of people, right? So why this is important? Because if one person is having the power, right, then he may form biased decisions. That means he may at times fail to take appropriate decisions, right? So here in a democratic country, the power is not in the hands of one person or one group of people or group of people. Every citizen is a member in the decision making process. How? That means we have already seen that all the people elect their representatives, and these representatives, they form their government and take all the decisions. So indirectly, the decisions taken by these elected representatives is considered to be the decision of the people or the public. People themselves are the creators of their destiny. Again, a very very important line, because if we as a citizen of India, we don't elect or select proper candidate, right? We do voting on the basis of particular caste or particular religion, or we try to favor the people who are our friends, even though they don't possess the qualities to run the country. Then a time will come that then we ourselves have to suffer, because those people, after getting elected or selected, they are having the power, but they are not using the power in the proper way to help the people and to solve their problems. So therefore it is written that people themselves are the creators of their destiny. If we elect or select an appropriate candidate who is honest and who is ready to work for the betterment of the people of the country, then we can become very happy, right? Our life will become very easy. The word for democracy in Gujarati is Lokshahi, right? Lok means people and Shahi means rule, right? So Lokshahi is a Gujarati word for democracy. Democratic government is for the people. It means the welfare of the people is the main aim of the government. Democracy is run by people, as the representatives elected by the people run the administration. So I had told the definition of democracy in the beginning of the chapter, and the meaning is given over there. So now again there is a table, right? A hierarchical table given in which forms of government are there. So we had seen this both type. One is monarchy, where the king or queen's rule is there. That means rule of one person. And democracy, where there is rule of not a single person, right? Then in democracy there is again two different kinds of government formed. One is presidential government and another one is parliamentary government. So in our country we follow the parliamentary system of government, and in America they follow presidential system of government. Okay. Your school must have been organizing elections for school panchayat. Similarly, your class monitor also must have been elected. At times, it happens that the monitor is not elected but selected directly. As a result, others who wanted to be the monitors feel discontented, that is dissatisfied, and express their disapproval, right? So, in schools also, in our school also, we follow the election system, right? So in that, those students who are willing to become the monitor or the head boy or head girl of the school, they'll give their names. Afterwards elections will be made, and those students who are achieving the maximum number of votes, they'll be chosen as the elected representative. That means the head boy or the head girl of the school, right? Then we'll move further. Like it is done in the school panchayat, representatives are called in a democratic government to the leaders of the party that wins the majority of the seats becomes the prime minister, and he selects member from the group of elected representatives to form the council of ministers. Okay. So what happens is that when elections, that is general elections, takes place. So general elections usually take place after the time period of 5 years, and in that election, the party winning the maximum number of seats, they will form their government, and from among those elected representatives they will select their head, which is known as the prime minister. then the prime minister from among those elected representatives will form his council of ministers, right? Why this council of ministers is formed? Because we all know that a prime minister, that is a one person, cannot rule or cannot govern the whole nation perfectly, right? It is a huge country, right? So he needs the help of different persons or people, because there are so many different fields where he'll need the uh, other people's help. So he will select different elected members, and he will assign different departments like health department, then foreign ministers, then uh, defense, financial. So these are the different departments, right? Where different ministers will be assigned work, and they will be helping the prime minister in running the nation smoothly. Next is, how is the parliament formed? Right, so India has adopted, as I said, that is parliamentary form of democracy. The parliament is the supreme institution in India. Supreme means the main, right, powerful. The Parliament of India consists of the President and the two houses, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is known as the lower house, and Rajya Sabha is known as the upper house. Right, so this is very important for all of us to understand. Right, so again in the table format it is given that Parliament consists of three things. That is the President, Prime Minister, President, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so Lok Sabha members total are 545, and means in the whole nation, and from among those 545, 26 seats are allotted for Gujarat. Then Rajya Sabha, right, that is the upper house. There are total 250 members. Among those 250 members, 11 seats are allotted for Gujarat. Okay. Next comes the Indian Parliament. The Indian Parliament, which is formed post independence. Post means after independence, is a symbol of trust of the people of India. Right, the main feature of the decision making in a democracy are people's consent. Consent means agree. People getting agreed, and their participation. In our system of governance, the parliament enjoys complete power since it comprises the elected representatives of the nation, because we all know that in the parliament only those members are there who are elected by the people of our nation. So those people are the elected representatives, and therefore they have the power to make the complete decisions. Okay, because they are ultimately the representatives of the people. So next is the functions of the parliament, right? So what work does the parliament do? So it does the work of controlling the government, and to provide information and guidance to it, and to make laws and make amendments in them. Amendments means changes, right? So whatever decisions regarding the laws are there, new laws are framed, and even some of the laws which are made earlier, with time, if there is a need to make any changes in them, then it is made in the parliament. And such changes which are made later on, after years or after some time, is known as amendment. Okay, so that is the work of the parliament. Here you can see the picture of our Indian parliament, and also the inside picture of it, where the elected members or representatives are seated. Then next is, how is the Lok Sabha formed? Right, Lok Sabha. Lok means people, so house of the people. It is also known as house of the people. So the elections for the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assembly, that is the Vidhan Sabha, are conducted in the same way. Right, these elections are held after every 5 years. So this also information I had already given you in the beginning of the chapter. Each constituency is represented by one elected member in the parliament. Now what is constituency? Right, so constituency means the place or the area, right, from where the elected member is given the seat. Okay, and it is the place. So ultimately the whole country or the whole nation is divided into different parts or areas according to the seats, means a fixed number of seats is allotted to the fixed area. That area is known as constituency, where the members they stand. Okay. The next is uh, okay, each constituency is represented, that we have already done. The candidates who contest for the seat in parliament are usually active in various political parties, right? So usually these members of the parliament who are uh, means who have won the contest, that means they are elected, they are basically from one or the other political parties only. The elected candidate is known as the member of parliament, and in short they are known as MPs. Okay, all these elected members collectively form the Lok Sabha, right? So all these elected members, they form, what do they form? They form Lok Sabha. Then next, how is the ruling party formed, right? We have heard about two different types of parties. One is the ruling party and another one is the opposition party. Now what is the ruling party, right? We'll just read out the paragraph and try to understand it. After the elections of Lok Sabha, party-wise list of all the members of the parliament is formed. Right, what is given? Party-wise list of all the members of the parliament is formed. What does this mean? That means in the Lok Sabha elections are the elections which are held in the whole nation at a time. That means at a time means at once, right? And from this Lok Sabha elections, different seats we had seen in the beginning. 550 seats are there in the whole nation. So those seats is won by different members of different parties, right? So those members who are winning from their constituency, they become the member of parliament. Okay, so that is the meaning of first line. From this list it becomes clear how many members from which political party are there, right? So counting will be done, result will be declared, right? And that party who is winning the majority number of seats forms the ruling party, right? So we'll understand that if any party wants to form the government, then there should be a majority of elected members from that party. After the elections, the leader of the party or a coalition of the parties so what is given? That is the coalition of the parties which has a majority, clear majority in the parliament, is appointed as the prime minister in the Lok Sabha. So as I already told you earlier, that a party who is having maximum votes or who is in the majority, their elected members or the members of that party will decide who will become the prime minister, right, from their own party, and then that prime minister becomes the head of India, right? So if we say that who is the head of the government of the country, then it is the prime minister. And if we ask a question, who is the head of the country, then the head of the country is considered to be the president. Okay, we'll move further. The prime minister selects ministers from the members of his party, right? What is given? The prime minister selects ministers from the members of his party. So as I told you earlier also, that it is not easy or it is next to impossible for the single person, that is the prime minister, to control or manage the whole nation by himself. So he needs the help of different people, because our country is so huge and there are different fields where the person having proper knowledge is important. So therefore, from those elected representatives, he will form his own team, right? He will select some of the representatives. Those selected representatives will form council of ministers. So this council of ministers consists of different ministers who will be assigned different department to look after in the whole nation. The examples of which are finance, education, health, right? Something still there are many departments: finance, defense. Okay, so the prime minister with other ministers take all the decisions These ministers take care of the responsibility of the work related to their respective ministries, right? So this council of ministers, as I said, they will be looking after the particular department which is given to them, right? So the whole responsibility of that department will be of such minister. Each minister is responsible for any question related to his ministry to the members of parliament. Okay, so if any problem arises in that particular area or department, any field, then that minister will be held responsible. Moving further, right? How is Rajya Sabha formed? So Rajya Sabha, as we know, it is the upper house, right? So elected members of the legislative assembly of each state, right? So legislative assembly is there in all the states. State wise there is a different legislative assembly. So elected members from each state are selected for the members of Rajya Sabha. There are 250 members in the Rajya Sabha. Out of them 238 are elected, that means through voting they are getting the chance to join the Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the other remaining 12 members are nominated by the President of India. That means the President will nominate their names and directly they will become the member of Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is known as the permanent house. Why it is known as permanent house? Because it never gets dissolved. Dissolved means we know that in Lok Sabha elections are held after every 5 years. So after the term of 5 years gets over, Lok Sabha house, that is the lower house, gets dissolved. That means totally it will get closed. Then again fresh elections will take place, and again the party having the majority of the votes, they will form their government in the Lok Sabha. But same doesn't happen in the Rajya Sabha. It is a permanent house. It never gets dissolved totally. Okay. So how does it function? We'll see. 1/3 of the member of Rajya Sabha retire every 2 years. That means all the members together they do not get retired. Only 1/3 of the members they retire every 2 years after completing their 6 years of term. So the total term for Rajya Sabha is 6 years, and the new members are included in the place of the retired members. Okay, so this is how the chain of Rajya Sabha keeps on moving and it never gets dissolved altogether. The Rajya Sabha represents the states of our country, right? Rajya means the state. The Rajya Sabha also can propose a bill. Bill means what now? This is a very, very important term, right? So many a times if we feel like with the changes in the time, there should be some changes made in the laws or some new laws are to be framed, then a draft will be prepared. Draft means in written, right? In detailed writing, everything will be there. That means if I think that the age of adult in our country, right, the right to vote is 18 years, and if I feel like that this should be changed to 16 years, then for this I'll propose a bill. So ultimately a bill means a draft in which I'll be writing all the reasons why from 18 years, 16 years of age should be made and what will be the benefits of that and everything, right? So this bill will be presented in the house. They will go through the bill, that means they will review the bill, and they will pass the bill. They can even if they are members, if they are in the favor, they will pass the bill, or else it will not be passed, right? So we'll read further. This house of parliament receives the bill passed by the Lok Sabha. Thus the role of Rajya Sabha is very important. The person who presides over the sessions of Rajya Sabha is known as the chairman, right? So if you have seen the Lok Sabha house or the Rajya Sabha house and its meeting going on, the sessions going on, you might have seen one person sitting in the center. So in Rajya Sabha, that person is known as the chairman. The Vice President of India acts as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. And who is that person? Vice President of India. Okay. So here you can see, right, question hour session in the parliament, right? So different matters are discussed in it, right, and solution to that is brought. when the parliament is in session, at the beginning of the day, the time for the question hour is decided upon. That means a fixed time is decided. During the question hour, the members of the parliament ask questions information on the working of the government. That is the government which is elected working properly or not working properly, what are the problems, what are the situations, everything will be discussed and asked. This is how the parliament controls the executive. Executive means that part of the government who tries to execute all the laws, who looks after the country and who looks after the people, whether they follow all the rules and regulations of the country or not. So through the medium of questioning, that means questions are asked and members draw the attention of the government towards its loopholes. Loopholes means the lackings or the mistakes which is done by the government, right? They will try to find out the mistakes or errors which is taking place by the present government, and they will try to ask them the questions that why such thing is happening. In this way, the government comes to know about the views and opinions of the people through their representatives. It is an important responsibility of the member to question the government, right? So if something wrong is happening, if the government is not functioning properly, so through the opposition party, right, the questions will be asked, and the party in power is liable or is responsible to give the answers. It is an important responsibility that we have already done. The opposition party plays a major role, right? So just before a second I discussed this, that the opposition party plays a major role. Why? Because in the effective administration, right, if the government is not working properly, they are taking wrong decisions, then this opposition party, they will oppose this government and they will force them to work properly. Okay. It highlights the loopholes in the policy and the programs of the government. The person who presides over the sessions in the Lok Sabha is known as the speaker. Okay, so in the parliament also, the Lok Sabha, you might have seen a person who is sitting in the center, right? That person is known as the speaker. That means whenever any session of Lok Sabha is to start, it is to be started with the permission of the speaker. President is the most important and integral part of the parliament, right? Why president is the most important part of the parliament? We'll just go through that. A bill, I've already explained you the meaning of the bill, right? So if it is proposed in the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, it doesn't become the law directly. There is a procedure to be followed. That means if a bill is represented in the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, it has to be first given consent by the majority of the members of it. And if the majority of the members have given their consent, that means they have agreed upon it, that means the bill is passed in that particular place, that is the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. And afterwards, if and only if the president makes sign on it, then the bill becomes an act. Now what means act? Act means law, right? So without the president's sign or signature, the bill does not become a law. Okay, so a bill that is passed by both the houses can become a law only after his signature. So his here means the president. He has the power to decide about the meetings of the parliament and announces the completion of the sessions too, right? So that is the work of the president, and here our chapter also gets over, and I thank you everyone for watching my video.